watch more Star Trek? Hello, guys. Okay, my hand is.
There we go. Hey, everybody. It's Dr. Trek and
Cadet Alice.
Alice is back. Yay. And we just watched a new episode of Prodigy, All the World's a Stage. What did you think about this one? Did you understand it?
I really liked it.
Oh, why did you like it?
I really liked it because I was like, they're meeting Starfleet people. How is their ship not blowing up or something?
Yeah. Well, it was. Well,
they thought that they were.
Yeah. But there were all these people, they thought that they were Federation and Starfleet, but they were just a little off, right? And it was kind of a mystery. Like, why do you guys have the patch, but you have these like stitched together uniforms?
Yeah, they're like poor looking. It looks like poor.
Well, yeah, like they did quite, but then they had names like James T. Kirk, and Sulu, like you haven't seen the original Star Trek, have you?
No.
But we watched a little bit, didn't we? We watched the part with the Vasquez rocks, just a little bit. And then what else? What did we do? We watched the Tribbles last night.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Tribbles show?
I liked it.
Was it funny? Did you understand it?
I'm having Murph kiss you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Murph. But I'm glad we watched a little bit of the Tribbles because
Why?
you got to see Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock and Dr. McCoy, right? And Scotty. We kind of skipped through just the Tribble part. You even saw some old Klingons, didn't you? Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what was going. I mean, I wondered when we watched this new Prodigy, I didn't know if you would understand what was going on. Were you confused by anything?
I was not confused about anything in the Tribbles.
Right, but I mean the show, the Prodigy we just watched.
The thing that I just said, I was a little confused about that.
The thing you just said.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with all the people and how did they? Because they kind of knew old, and it was 100 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was kind of the middle? Now I know you haven't. What are you doing?
I'm just sharpening
You're just loving Merv. Well, listen. So this new show, was it kind of confusing, or what did you like about it? I don't think this was your favorite show.
It was.
Oh, it was your favorite? Okay, why? What'd you like?
I like the part that when I liked where they turn the ship into Captain Kirk's ship. It was like boom ball.
Oh, on the real Prodigy. I mean, on the real Photostar, they had like a holographic thing they turned on.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why they did that?
Why?
Well, they had to use some extra crew from the people down below, and they didn't know the modern look, but they could do the 100-year-old Captain Kirk look. That they knew those controls, right?
Yeah, so they had to do that so that they could help out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is
I know. That's a cute dress, but it's kind of a little bit big. So yeah, so they were helping out. But did you remember what they were doing though? They were on a stage. It's like they were giving a play, right?
Yeah, they were giving a play to give a warning.
Yeah, but what was up with that? It's like they had like an old bridge, and they had the controls, and they had bushes and clouds and things. And he was falling through space, but he was on that cushion. I mean, they had. What did you think of that? Was that kind of cute?
Kind of.
You know what that was like? Now, I know this might be in our ancient days, something unusual would happen. And they didn't have what? They didn't have books. They couldn't write. They had to tell their stories. And some of the old myths and legends that you like, I bet you like some, even the stories from the Bible, but all kinds of legends and things, they couldn't write it down. They just told. Every generation would tell the new, or they would have plays. So You don't know this, but there's an old original Star Trek episode called Obsession with Ensign Garevik. And that was who. Did you notice in this show of Prodigy when they were in the shuttlecraft and that chunk of dilithium accidentally turned on a control and they got that recording?
Mm-hmm.
Were you a little confused by that?
Mm-hmm.
What that did was explain why those people knew a little bit of Starfleet and Federation and why they were so impressed. Every time they'd say the Gallows, they really meant the name of their shuttlecraft was the Galileo. It was a very famous shuttlecraft on Kirk's time for Kirk and Spock. I know this isn't as exciting to you, but that one little recording when they accidentally played it and hit the button and that voice came out of his recording, he had been crash landed. He was separated from the Enterprise, from Kirk and Spock and McCoy, and he crashed there. And then we saw what happened, right? The engines were leaking plasma, and what'd that do to the land?
It made it poison.
Yeah, it kind of made it poison the water, poison. Anyway, if you got close in that dilithium field with the dilithium crystals, dilithium makes warp drive work. It made it toxic. And he knew that 100 years ago. Ensign Garevik came in to tell them that it was going to be poisonous, but then he wound up dying. But they told the story of him. They didn't just get it quite right, did they? So that's what was weird. So what did our guys do? Our Protostar, our Prodigy guys landed and they're like, why are all these guys like looking like they're kind of playing Star Trek or they said Starflight instead of Starfleet. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And they kind of had green instead of gold uniforms. But they told the story. What's the first thing they said, you're Starflight, you've come to save us, because he told us somebody someday would come to save us from Starflight. And they're like, Starflight? You mean Starfleet?
Like,
So here's my thing. Here's my promise to you, kiddo. I think the more Star Trek you see, I think if you went back and watched this one in 5 years, you'll go, oh, that's what it was about. Now, did you still enjoy it, the show?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think when they were doing the little plays?
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. So it's like they start off the show knowing that how about this? They know at the beginning that they can't go meet anybody from Starfleet now because their weapon will infect them. So what did they say? They said, let's just go out and help people that aren't Starfleet and Federation. And that's what they were trying to do. But who knew they were going to find people that already knew something about, kind of knew. But how weird. Someday you're going to watch some old Star Trek and you're going to know what the Galileo looked like. And you're going to watch this again and go, oh my God, that's an old shuttlecraft. That's exactly the Galileo.
Okay.
That's what, because even Jankom was like, what is this old shuttlecraft doing out here? And they figured out the mystery. They said 2 glowing eyes. What was it? It was the fronts of the nacelles on the shuttlecraft glowing. That was kind of weird. But they helped him out in the end, didn't they? That was some rescue.
And also, remember that girl that came from there, that cave?
Mm-hmm.
They had this burn on them.
Yeah, that's what the plasma was doing that was poisoning things. You got a radiation burn.
And even Dal got it.
Yeah. Were you a little worried?
Mm-hmm. He was like, was it because I touched her?
I think so, or he was just close to her. Yeah, she had a radiation sickness because the Ensign Garevik had said, everybody stay here, don't go near the cave. And so for 100 years, they kept telling the story that you can't go there, you have to stay here and be safe. But that one, her name was Uhura, like Lieutenant Uhura. But all of them were given names in honor of the heroes from the stories. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
How something that's just real, if you take it one step away, somebody doesn't know it, but they tell the story and the story starts getting a little off, but it's still there. So what was the most exciting part of this show? What do you think?
It was probably my favorite part was probably when they saved the people.
Well, first they like went into that cave and it got a little scary.
Yeah, and they were wearing like these.
Their spacesuits?
Yeah.
Their EV suits, yeah.
How did that protect them?
Well, it's like wearing a spacesuit in space where there's no air, and there's too much sun or too much radiation. It protects you. It's a heavy suit and it has air inside and it has shielding against radiation, which can burn you without even being able to see. It's protection suits in space. But in that cave, it was perfect because they had the radiation that they didn't even know. They didn't even know what was causing it. And Jankom was a little scared, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like, Jankom is afraid.
At least he said it. At least he was honest about it, right?
Yeah, he was like, Jankom is afraid.
So why did they wind up going? Who was your hero?
Dow.
Well, Dow was sick. He couldn't go then.
Probably Gwyn. She was like, let's be brave.
I remember what happened. She said, let's go. And you looked at me and you said, you go, girl. You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I have to ask this question? Who was your favorite character in this one?
I like all of them.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of all of them, what is up with
Murph?
What is going on with Murph?
Like at the end, there was he was like,
yeah.
What was that shape?
It's like he was in some kind of a web or something. And he was leaking on the floor. Did you see on the deck where he'd gotten up?
Yeah, like even Rock was like, what is going on with you?
I wonder do you think we're going to find out?
Yeah, probably in the next one.
Okay. Hi, Lammy. Hi. Well, hi, Murph. Murph doesn't want to get left out too. Okay.
Bye.
Are we done, you think?
Yeah.
Are you worried about Murph?
I'm kind of am.
You kind of am? Okay. Can you did you just see what they were doing? Can you do the live long and prosper thing the Vulcans do? It's kind of tricky. You hold these two fingers together and those two fingers together. And that's how the Vulcans say hello and goodbye. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Even Captain Kirk had to have monofilament tie his fingers together. Okay, well, Lammy's saying bye, and Murph is going to say bye.
Track well.
So that was still a good show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Track well.
Do you want to keep watching? You want to go ahead? You want to stop watching, or you want to watch the next one, see what happens?
Yes.
Yes. If nothing else, we have to see what happens to Murph.
Bye.
I think we're done.
Track well.
Trek well, everybody. Oh, and yeah, you too. I guess we'll find out more about the real Janeway too, won't we?
Yeah.
They're still all worried about finding Chakotay. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Trek well. You let me do that.
Why?